soft inside, little hint of alcohol. There's nothing like freshly made, beautiful Canelé. Here's a really lovely recipe for today. This is Canelé. These are little patisseries made from the Bordeaux region in France. I use beeswax to cook them, and I use these beautiful little molds that somebody bought for me when I was 21. That's why they look quite gnarly, just like me. So Canelé is a little patisserie in France. It's almost like a batter. It is from the Bordeaux region in France. You make the batter, you warm up the pots, you put them in the batter in the pots, and you turn it out, and you have the most delicious little patisserie you're ever going to find. Okay, so to make Canelé, it's a little bit tricky, kind of feels a bit scary, but actually, once you've made that batter, it's quite an easy thing to do. But I'm going to do something a little bit different. We use this beeswax. We get it from the people we buy our beautiful honey from for our soufflés. I love beeswax. We use it for our madeleines, but I'm also going to use it for these Canelés as well. So I've grated it, just use a little grater. Take a spoon, put a little bit into each one. It's going to melt into that Canelé mold and give us almost a lining that will prevent the Canelé from sticking. So in goes the beeswax. That now goes in the oven. These are wonderful copper Canelé molds. They're very expensive, but you can buy flexi molds, you can buy very simple cheap ones. But that goes in the oven now at 180 and just gets hot. Right, let's move on to the batter. Very simple, actually. In here, I've got milk, I've got butter, I've got sugar, and I've got vanilla. And I bought this up to 60 degrees. Was it 60 degrees? Probably 58, probably 62. It's fine. It's just about getting it up to a lovely temperature. It's hot enough, it's all melted, and it's infused together. In here, in this bowl, I've got simple flour. In here, I've got eggs and egg yolks, as per the recipe in the content below. And here's some beautiful dark rum. Don't cheap on the rum if you can. You can really feel the rum in a Canelé. I think it's really important. So into here goes this. It's almost like making a reverse roux. So we're sort of adding it in and letting that come together. You're sort of adding the butter and milk into the flour, trying to prevent lumps by adding it nice and slowly, incorporating it really cleverly. So that goes in. Just keep mixing around and it will just all come together and become simple. Just make sure you sort of work those lumps out first before you add much more into it. That's all that's important here. You'll see it just get smoother and smoother. You can see those lovely flecks of vanilla in there as well. Don't shy on the vanilla. I think it really needs the vanilla. And I tend not to use essence. I tend to use real pods. I just think it's much better. So once you've got that lovely stage there, you can start adding more liquid to it and it'll accept it much better. Okay, one really important thing with this is I always make this mix the day before I'm going to use it, which sounds like a real pain, but it really does make a huge difference. If you use this on the same day, it just hasn't had time to settle. Make sure you scrape all that vanilla through. See, this is one of the benefits. I'm no pastry chef, but I love pastry. I've got a really devilishly sweet tooth, and I love great patisserie. So actually, I sort of forced myself to learn some of these things like madeleines and canelés and Eccles cakes and things like that because I want to cook them for myself. I love it. That's just my glutton. So in here is the eggs and egg yolk mix. That goes in, and this is cooled down now sufficiently that it's not going to cook those eggs all in there. I use, as always, the rich egg yolks, either from Cackle Bean or St. Hugh's. I just think they give a real indulgence, depth, nice yellow colour. And then into that goes the rum. This is a really good quality dark rum, and it is really important to use good rum if you can. So pop that in, give it a really good mix. That wants to sit in a container overnight in the fridge before you use it. Luckily, I did one yesterday. So pass that lovely Canelé mix through a fine sieve just to remove any flecks of egg, any bits of flour out there as well, and then that gets transferred into a jug the next day so we can pour that safely into our Canelé. Okay, so our beeswax has melted now, and all we need to do is just take that and swill it around basically so it covers all the different all the edges of that. And what I tend to do is just pour it into the next one. Take the next one, swill it around. Bit of a faff, you can just use one spray if you want, but it's not really my jam. What will happen is the beeswax will start setting on the side of the mould and forming that lovely layer of non-stick protection for us, and also imparting wonderful flavour. That's really important. This is quite classical actually. Using beeswax was probably the original way of doing it. And I just think it's a really lovely thing. Goes in like that. I went to Bordeaux on a little wine trip. I was quite young, it was my first restaurant time. And I just thought, wow, that is a thing of absolute beauty. Okay, so that's good now. Now I'm just going to quickly turn them all upside down. Whoop. And that's taking any excess out. Then we turn them back over. Right, now we need to just go back in with our mix. In it goes. Don't fill them all the way to the top because they will rise. Leave yourself about a centimetre towards the top. Half. Right, and these go in the oven. It's as simple as that. Nice, huh? So our canelés have had 45 minutes, give or take. You just want to bring them out, just test them, press them. They need to come back up. See that? Really important. Okay, these can come out over here, like that. That can go away. All we need to do is just bang them, and out they come. Look at that. Beautiful. A lot of people cook these darker than that. You can cook them darker, but I quite like them at this sort of colour. Now all I'm going to do is give them a little bit of a glaze. I've got a little bit of this apricot jam. It's also got some rum in it, just makes them nice and shiny and sticky. Absolutely beautiful. There you go on there. There is no finer patisserie. I have often served these in the old days of Trinity as a dessert. They are not a dessert, they are a pastry, and they should be kept as so. They are a midday indulgence, or an 11 o'clock in the morning indulgence, or a first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee. They are beautiful. And that little hit of rum in there as well is an absolute winner. I love a canelé. Bring back beautiful memories for me. And they are, for me, one of the ultimate French patisseries. And I reckon that's a pretty fine recipe. You need good moulds. I think the moulds really help. They make a big difference. There we go. There's nothing like freshly made, beautiful canelé. That is cooking wizardry.
Just smash the whole thing in. Oh, you know what?
What am I doing?